The evolution of your marketing will be the catalyst for the evolution of your business, and the evolution of your business will provide you with the freedom to focus on the evolution of your life. This is Evolved Marketing with Andre and Brian. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Evolved Marketing Podcast. My name is Brian Brewer, along with my co-host, as always, Andre Germanchef. And today we're going to explore a narrative that has popped up time and time again in my career, and it's probably popped up a little bit recently due to the massive increase in awareness. But that narrative is actually a question. Is affiliate marketing saturated, or is affiliate marketing dying? Will it continue to be a viable way for beginners and people to make money online? That's what we're going to talk about for the start of the show here today. Hi, Andre. How are you?
Hey, Brian. How's it going?
Yeah, it's good to see you again. It's going well. So what do you think? Is affiliate marketing dying? Is it saturated? What's that even mean? And are we in danger of losing our livelihood here?
Yeah, we have to sell our stuff, sell our houses. We have to sell our cars because there's no way we're going to make it next year, man.
Yeah, it's really funny. I've been doing affiliate marketing since 2012 now, October of 2012. And it just keeps getting better and better every year. So it's hard for me to look at this and say, wow, we're in trouble or it's saturated. But I think what it really comes down to is that even though there's a crazy amount of awareness that has come up regarding affiliate marketing over the last 2 or 3 years, as a matter of fact, if you look at the Google Trends and type in affiliate marketing, I mean, interest has peaked, relative searches has peaked, it's at an all-time high, relative to the history of the internet. And that's probably because, of short form content, everybody jumping on board, and more people want a side hustle and realize affiliate marketing is a great way to go. But I think even though there's this increase of awareness, which is the point I'm getting at, I think there's still a lot of mystery and a lot of misconception about what affiliate marketing really is. Like they've kind of pigeonholed it or think it's only one thing with one product with one opportunity. What do you think?
Well, do you remember when we went to Funnel Hacking Live and we were talking to so many people, and it was just like they didn't really know what affiliate marketing was. Like there's just so many online businesses out there. And that's when I realized how small affiliate marketing is. Like, yeah, there's a lot of products, a lot of companies that have affiliate programs, but it's just like, I don't know if they do a good job marketing, like teaching the business model. Talking about that, the saturation, people might think this business is saturated just because the algorithm is just feeding them the same thing that they're interested in. You get me? So that's one of the main things that I see online where people think, this is saturated. It's not gonna work out for like next year or what. So it's just the social media is just feeding you with the same information that you're actually looking for. So yeah, it's so small. I feel like it's still so small. Affiliate marketing has been going on for a while, and due to the pandemic, it exploded. It kept going up, but when the pandemic hit, everybody started going online because they couldn't go outside, and then that's when everything skyrocketed. But then another question that I ask myself too, and I tell my students that they say that it's saturated, is look, how many people lose their job every single day? How many people look how to make money online every single day because their opportunity, their lifestyle is not doing well at the moment? How many people turn 18 every single day? Like there's so many variables out there that I think people will come back to it, and eventually they'll find that affiliate marketing is a legit business, because it really is.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be bad things either, or people turning 18. Think about how many people have their kids go off to college and now they either need more money for tuition or they have more free time because they're not carting them back and forth to sports practices and school and stuff like that. So they have they need something to fill their time with. How many people retire every year and realize like, well, I don't really have to worry about money if you have a pension or a retirement or a 401k, but I sure would like to have extra to travel. So now that I have the time, let's take this work ethic and apply it to something. And affiliate marketing makes a lot of sense. But it was interesting how you brought up Funnel Hacking Live last year, because you are absolutely right. We were both there as, affiliate marketers or what have you. And we'd sit around, having cocktails or after the speakers, after the event let out. And everyone was just like, eyes, as big as saucers when we were talking about affiliate marketing, and we were explaining all the opportunity, and it was like we were talking about a foreign concept that hasn't been around since the 90s. It was like, what is this thing? I can really do that. And people were really, really interested.
They were super interested. I mean, the amount of feedback, that's why it blew my mind, because affiliate marketing is the second business model that I got to learn. The first one was drop shipping, because I started with drop shipping. A 17-year-old from my restaurant job talked about it. He's like, yeah, I'm making like $5,000 every single month just doing drop shipping. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna dip my feet in the water a little bit and see what this is, So I did it. And then I fell. Of course, I fell. But then the second business model that I learned was affiliate marketing. You get me? So I didn't know about podcasting. I didn't know about, e-commerce, Amazon FBA, other crypto, other businesses. I had no idea of any of that. So it kind of blew my mind when we went, and I was just talking about what I know, which is affiliate marketing. And most people had no idea what it was. I just
it was
didn't
interesting.
Get it. It didn't click on me.
Yeah, Funnel Hacking Live is, it was coaches and people building funnels, and there were some people in podcasts, and there were some people in real estate deals and stuff like that. And it's just all very physical, tangible businesses where you're like dealing with clients and serving clients and creating courses or programs or coaching for clients. And it was like, when we come in and talk about affiliate marketing, it's just like, oh my God, there's so much crap that I don't have to do. And really, there's so many ways to do affiliate marketing is the reason that it's not saturated. It's not going anywhere. And in a second, I'll tell you why I think it's actually going to continue to grow. But when we talk about affiliate marketing, there's obviously the business model that's great for beginners, at least in my opinion, where you buy an affiliate marketing course, you turn around and you market the affiliate marketing course. Some people think that's like a pyramid scheme or whatever. To me, it kills two birds with one stone. You learn the product, and then you learn how to market it all in one shot. Then you could turn around. You share your personal story. That attracts people. You attract people who are just like you, and you get them on the same path. So it's, in my opinion, the easiest way to start seeing success online. But beyond that, there's other opportunities with affiliate marketing. Let's say you're into working out, or let's say you're into woodworking or knitting or playing tennis. You can create a following around your passion or your niche or your expertise just by teaching people stuff or helping people. Or if you're an influencer, this is, my wife watches these influencers all the time on Instagram. All they do is talk about their kids and their vacations and their new house and their remodel and the grocery store trips. But then they say, oh, and I got this new product, link in bio, you know what I mean? And that's all they're doing is they're doing affiliate marketing. They're just building a bigger audience and promoting smaller ticket products, which work as well. But also, the one that is probably the most or the least well-known is when you use affiliate marketing to supplement your existing business. So, for example, this is what I do now. My background is in affiliate marketing. I've generated millions of dollars in sales in affiliate marketing with tons of different products. But now I sell my own product, which happens to be an affiliate marketing education course. But that is irrelevant. What happens is I'm driving traffic via content and ads into my product, hoping to make a profit. But then I have this email list, right? And I made a video about this the other day. I have this email list, and after 15, 20, 30 days on my email list, they're going to be either bought into my product and all in, or they're going to be sick of hearing me talk about my product. You know what I mean? So that's when I can come around with a new opportunity, a new offer. And that doesn't have to be something that you spend months creating. You can just promote an affiliate product that's relevant to your audience in a way that gives them a new opportunity to spend more money to better their lives, that gives you an opportunity to make you money, right? Like, this is what Adrian Brambilla was talking about. I think I butchered his name twice, but that's my fault. Anyways, he was episode 46, I believe, and he was talking about how he promotes one front end product, but then he has this email list, and then he promotes other products as well. So there's really multiple ways to do affiliate marketing, including supplementing your main business, right?
Yeah, there's definitely multiple ways. Another thing that you got me thinking about, you mentioned influencer. And it got me thinking about a topic that we haven't really talked about, which is called sponsorship. You get me? Because there's businesses out there that they reach out to content creators. They have reached out to me. I'm sure they have reached out to you to, hey, you want to promote my product, as far as like a sponsor type of thing. Did you ever do any of that on any of those sponsorships?
I've always turned them down.
Yeah.
But that is only because I started affiliate marketing with, anonymous content review or product review blogs and stuff like that. So I didn't put myself out there. So by the time I put myself out there and started getting a following, and then, you got to remember this was 2016, 2017. So, sponsorships weren't as popular with what we'd consider a micro influencer, right? Anything under 100,000 followers, which is all I had at the time and all I really have now. They were going after people with millions of followers back then. So by the time I finally got around to the point of like 2020, 2021, where it was like, hey, now all these sponsors are looking for micro influencers, people under 100,000 followers. I had, been honing my skills for 9 years at that point. So I knew I could make more money by not distracting folks with other products. You're just promoting the stuff that I had intended to promote. So that's the only reason I've said no. But if you're just getting started and you get a following that goes and someone shows interest and you're not quite savvy to the point where you can crush it with your own offer, it's not a bad way to supplement your income, right?
Yeah, because I have seen affiliate marketers actually that they stopped doing affiliate marketing and then they started doing sponsorship deals. Also, with the skills that they learned with affiliate marketing, they ended up becoming social media managers for companies. You get me? So there's little skills that you can get from a bunch of businesses, and you can implement them into a complete different genre that utilizes those skills. I was talking to somebody yesterday. He's actually a guy from my soccer team. So I play soccer every Tuesday nights. And he does IT. He's an IT person. So he does a lot of software. He does a lot of websites, right? And then I was asking him, do you know about funnels? Because that's what I focus on. I focus on grabbing the lead, and then promoting different products to that person. And then this guy, which works at IT for a company, he had no idea what funnels were. So I was telling him, and then he's like, just how you say, his eyes were getting like bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you could see the excitement of just having a conversation with me, because we both are actually in technology, so it's just like his eyes were getting bigger and he looked excited. But it happened at the end of the night, so I was like, oh man, I gotta go now, I gotta go home. But we didn't have more of a conversation like that. But I know for sure that when he comes back, because he's going on a trip, when he comes back from a trip, we're gonna resume the conversation and then see where it goes. See if I'm able to help in some way.
And that's another perfect example about the whole saturation myth with affiliate marketing. We've talked about Funnel Hacking Live on the past few episodes because it's the event that's coming up, I think, in 2 weeks now. That's the biggest event in our industry, right? If you talk about online marketers, Funnel Hacking Live is, the biggest one. Affiliate World Summit is pretty big as well, but Funnel Hacking Live is the big one. And people who are in IT have never heard of funnels, let alone Funnel Hacking Live. And then 90% of the people at Funnel Hacking Live have never heard about affiliate marketing. So, I mean, it's as small as you can get still. So it's a huge opportunity. But I did want to circle back to the point that I teased earlier as to why I think affiliate marketing is going to get even bigger. And this is kind of a little bit of a history lesson, but hopefully not a boring one. So back in 2011, 2010, 2012, maybe, Facebook, right? It was not this, you have to create content that gets engagement to get reach. It was basically, if you could get someone to like your page, they would see all your posts, basically. And this is a long time ago. I can't do this anymore, obviously. So businesses would spend $1 million, get 2 million likes or whatever, and then they would just basically spam their feed with quote unquote free ads that would promote their products. But obviously you can't do that anymore. Same thing happened with Instagram in like 2015 or whatever. Movement Watches, which I think I've talked about on the podcast before. They built a $100 million business basically doing the same thing and using influencers on Instagram, because these influencers had massive reach, millions of followers. And when they posted stuff, their followers saw it. So they would give the influencer 20 grand or whatever, which is a shitload of money to them. And they would post all about these Movement Watches and they would blow up the business, right? But nothing exists like that anymore. You're not entitled to your followers anymore. So the influencer stuff doesn't work as well. I know people are still doing it profitably, and it's still a viable marketing channel, obviously. But as far as just like building an audience and then spamming with your ads, that stuff doesn't work anymore. And as a result, the cost of advertising has gone up exponentially since even 2018, which is only 5 years ago. I remember, your CPMs or cost per thousand impressions was well under $20, and now it's probably closer to 50 or 60 depending on your niche and your industry and your ads. So the point I'm getting at about affiliate marketing is ads are getting more and more expensive. Influencer marketing works less and less. So only the biggest companies with the longest game plan can afford to play anymore, right? You got to have a big budget, you got to lay a bunch of money out front, be willing to take a loss, and then come back and make it up on the back end. So that means there's tons of companies out there who don't know how to get reach anymore because they can't afford it because of everything's pricing them out of the market. So I think even more people are going to lean on their affiliate programs. Like you said, a ton of people or a ton of companies, hundreds of millions probably have affiliate programs, but they just kind of sit there with a link at the bottom. If you like our products, go apply to become an affiliate, and there's no support. I think in the coming years, especially with the content creator community, it's just going to become more and more common where companies are actually marketing their affiliate programs as much or more than their products because they know they can get exponential results if they build up their affiliate program. And it's just a lot less risk for the company, rather than spending $1 million an ad. What's that?
You're saving advertisement. The companies are saving for advertising.
There's no risk because when you're paying for ads, you might spend, we have $1 million budget. Our goal is to make $1 million back so we break even and then build up our client list. Is it going to happen? We don't know. But with affiliate marketing, you pay a set percentage. So it's like, our marketing budget is 30% of our revenue. Easy. Just pay a 30% commission. Simple as that. There is absolutely no risk. So I think affiliate marketing will become, honestly, I think it will become the future of marketing for many companies.
Yeah. You also know what I'm thinking? I don't know why a lot of companies do have affiliate programs, but they also reject a lot of affiliates that apply for it. You get me? For example, Target or I don't know, Walmart, Sephora. I'm sure if you apply, they probably reject you right away. And I don't know why. Is that because they think that person has no experience? Maybe their following is not that big. You get me? It doesn't make sense to me because if I want to promote something in a marketplace like JVZoo, Digistore24, ClickBank, I'll get approved like that, and I'll be able to promote a product right away. But why is it more difficult for Target? You get me? I want to become an affiliate for Target. I don't think I'm gonna get approved right away, even though I have 3-4 years of experience. You get me?
Yeah,
I don't get why those big companies do that.
I think the reason, and this is just a hypothesis here, but if I want to think about it, so let's think about Amazon, for example. Amazon is an affiliate program that is relatively easy to join. Most people get accepted to Amazon. So Amazon is the brand, but you don't promote Amazon. If you're an affiliate, you promote individual products that are generally maybe shipped by Amazon, but sold by third-party suppliers and third-party businesses, right? That's the way the Amazon model works. So Amazon has kind of disassociated the brand with the products, right? So they don't really, if an affiliate goes out and does something negative or takes questionable practices to promote a product, then that kind of is associated with that individual product. Where you have things like Target, Sephora, Nike, Apple, they have a brand that they need to protect. And if Sephora and Nike and Amazon, they're selling all these products, they're actually selling them themselves, unlike Amazon. So if people or affiliates give false information about a product, for example, and say, this is great, it's $20 and you get 100 ounces of protein, for example, and someone buys it on Amazon and it's like 60 ounces of protein and it's $25, then you got a negative association, but the negative association is just with that product. It's not with Amazon in general. Whereas if an affiliate gives negative information about some night cream that reduces wrinkles and actually works, and then people go buy it from Sephora and they get it, and it's junk or whatever, it doesn't do any visible improvement in your skin, then you have a negative association with Sephora because Sephora sold that to you. And once again, that's just a hypothesis that I've never thought about before in my life until you brought it up. But that could be a big reason why they're more selective.
Well, it does make sense because you don't know how the promoter is going to promote. You get me?
Right.
Perfect example, when Legendary was blowing up. I mean, I'm not going to say names, but there were some pretty shady people, doing shady stuff. Not shady stuff, but like the way they were promoting it was kind of shady, like they were the top affiliate, but it gets me thinking, like, should he be doing that? Should he be saying stuff like that? So it does make sense because as an affiliate, you can basically say whatever you want to make the sale, right? And I'm sure that gets a bad reputation to some affiliate programs or affiliate of companies, just because somebody said something that is not necessarily false, but it's also not 100% right, So I guess they're just watching for their asses.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, I think that's the thing about companies being hesitant to take on smaller affiliates is because, well, there's two reasons really. First of all, if you have an affiliate program, let's say just for the sake of math, you have 1,000 affiliates in your affiliate program. Well, the top 10 affiliates are going to drive 95% of the revenue, right? That's just the way it works. You can see with Legendary Marketer, they're making millions a month, and probably 90% of that comes from the top 15, 20 affiliates, right? Maybe 25 affiliates. That's just the way it goes. So companies know that, A, but the other side of that is B, if you bring on people who have a brand, who have a big following, then they are going to be more likely to protect that brand and following. So therefore, the companies can almost inherently trust them to not stay away from false information, but to strive to give accurate information. Whereas if you take someone who's brand new to the game and they're just like, man, I just want to make some money, right? They will typically be willing to dive farther into the gray area, so to speak, with their marketing tactics or get a little more black hat because they're desperate and they really don't have anything to lose if they haven't spent years building a brand.
Yeah. Also, going back to the saturation topic, when I first started Legendary Marketer in December of 2020, nobody was making 100K a month. It didn't exist in Legendary Marketer. Maybe in the past it did, but when I first started in 2020, nobody was making that. And now there's multiple people making more than 100K every single month. You get me? And this is 3 years later. You get me? Like, is it saturated? I don't think so. It just keeps growing. I mean, making 100K a month, that's insane. You get me? Promoting one company.
And I can back those numbers up because when you joined Legendary Marketer, I was the top affiliate for them. And I was making $45,000 a month. Now, don't get me wrong. That's great money, but that's not six figures a month. And like you said, now there's probably at least 3 affiliates making $100,000 a month, maybe 5 or 6 making $100,000 a month. There's certainly 5 or 6 who have made over $100,000 in a month.
Right.
And there's probably at least 3 that are doing it consistently. And there's one, I think she's doing $300,000 to $400,000 a month. You know what I mean? That's freaking great. She's about to hit 3 million.
And it's insane. Yeah. And it blows my mind now that I think about it. I'm like, because I was making $75,000 a month from Legendary Marketer by itself. You get me? And then it just blew my mind how, okay, well, how do I get to the next level, right? And it's just crazy how they're able to accomplish that right now, like, and I'm not sure why, it has to be with the virality of the accounts. That's one of the top answers, but
well, here's what
to that point,
here's what you have to remember. If you're watching this or listening to this and you're getting frustrated and you're like, how do I make $300,000? Don't shoot for that number, because you have to remember there's content creators who make millions a year doing other things. And very few people hit that plateau or that peak or that milestone. So like, just understand, like, some people they're better at creating content. They're no more natural. And so don't try to to replicate that, because it's like trying to expect to become an influencer or a celebrity. Like, people don't know, like, I'm not going to become a celebrity, right? I'm not going to become the number one comedian in the world, probably. So why would we think that we're going to become the number one affiliate marketer in the world? It's like, we don't, but it doesn't mean, like, you can still make 15, 20, 30, $40,000 a month without doing that. So anyways, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I did want to, because that gets me frustrated a little bit. Like, why am I not making $400,000 a month with this program?
Right.
I have all the skills, but that's the reason. You're saying the virality and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, the virality of your accounts. I mean, it is what it is. When I was making that money, my Instagram was blowing up. Like, I could not control it. It was just going bonkers. But yeah, I mean, I think to finish off this topic of saturation, it's just gonna keep growing. And next week, no wait, 2 weeks from now, no wait, when this episode airs, a week from now, we're gonna be in Funnel Hacking Live, and we're gonna be talking to a bunch of people, and it's just gonna get us excited again. Like, I have plans to do stuff, and I'm excited because I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna find that one thing, you get me, and I'm gonna focus on that one thing and switch my business and basically take it to the next level, because exactly there's gonna be a lot of information, but as long as you get that one thing, you'll be golden.
That's exactly right. So let's kind of take a transition here, because you're absolutely right. People go into Funnel Hacking Live looking to take millions of notes and get all the information, but it really only takes one thing, one little tiny hinge that swings the big door that changes everything. So let's think back now. We got about another half hour or so in this episode. Let's kind of take a rewind or a recap. Let's look at some of our past guests here, Andre. We've had 46 previous episodes, so probably at least 25 to 30 guests on. Just kind of recap and give everybody some real value here and dive into the golden nuggets that we can remember just off the top of our head. If we exclude anyone, don't take it personally if you were a guest on this show. It's just what off the top of the head sticks out as some things that maybe changed your life a little bit, or something you think about on a regular basis from a past guest.
Well, when I had the idea of creating this podcast and I talked to you about it, one of the things that I mentioned to you was talk about stories, talk about experiences. Like, I wanted to know who the people are, kind of getting a little bit uncomfortable and having share stuff. And one person that I always remember is Igor. I'm gonna mess up his last name. Kifitz? Is that his last name?
Mm-hmm.
Kifitz? Yeah. So I just love his story, coming from Israel and working at a casino, and just the way he was sharing a story about something that happened to him was the main reason why I started this podcast, just to hear those stories. And of course, and not just the stories, I mean, the expertise, right? Like, he's a master at email marketing, and he makes 6 figures just by doing email marketing. He doesn't even create content. And one thing that I always think about is, when you are promoting something to your email list, give them 2 options or even 3 options. Like, you'll be able to convert them. If one product doesn't work for them, the next product will, or the third product will. You get me? So the more options that you can give your list, as far as promoting different products as an affiliate marketer, is possible. And I asked him a question too. What about the confusion? Like, what about those people that get confused? Like, and then the thing that he said was, yeah, there's gonna be confusion. You get me? But you are giving them options to see where can they go, which product they can buy. And at the end of the day, you are a marketer, so why not just do it? Who cares about the confusion?
He's like, I'd rather have them choose A or B than nothing, right? And he's like, I don't think he said this directly, but let's say you're promoting one product. Let's say you're going to get 10% of the people who buy that product. Well, let's say you promote 2 products. Now you might have 50% of the people who are confused, but from that other 50%, now you got 20% buyers, because you got 2 options. So you just doubled your income. And it's important when you listen to this podcast, and maybe even dive back into some other episodes to get those gold nuggets, is that you implement what you learn. and just kind of suspend disbelief for a second and don't think you know everything and just be like, well, this person was on the podcast. They were on the show for an hour, and this is one of the 5 golden nuggets that they shared. It must be important, right? It's different when you're creating a YouTube channel. You're constantly like, all right, what am I going to talk about today? What kind of video is going to get traffic? But when you're on a podcast for an hour, you're just going to bring your best stuff, right? And that's what's so awesome about podcasts. And the point I'm getting at is I have implemented that over the last couple of months, where I'm just like, some emails are, I added more products to my email follow-up, not right off the bat, but, extended it into new products, and I'm making more money. And there are even some emails where it's like the closing is, what you need to do next, either log back into the free account or go buy the premium program. And what happens? A lot of people get into that free account and re-engage, but a lot of other people are like, well, I already did the free thing, so I guess I got to go buy the premium thing. You know what I mean? So it actually works. And that's the key, is just to implement what you learn.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, we're learning so much from so many guests, especially now that we're diving more into marketers. You get me? We're not just doing affiliate marketers or top affiliates for Legendary Marketer. That's not our focus anymore, because that's an easy route, I feel like, right? Like, it's so easy to just get somebody from Legendary Marketer, somebody that's being on the Wake Up Legendary show, to just come back and talk to us about their experiences and their trainings, their strategies. It's too easy for us, I feel like, that way. But I like how we're doing it. We're working a little harder to get new guests, right? People that have no idea about Legendary Marketer, like, just to get like a broad audience into the show. What about you, Brian? What guests that we had in the past has impacted you in a certain way?
Well, one thing that I wasn't going to lead into this, I had another one that I was going to jump into after we were done with yours. But one thing that, you were talking about Igor and the way he offers his leads choices, it reminded me of Phil Koberger when he was on, and Phil is a newer affiliate, but he's found quite a bit of success and made a few $100,000 online and stuff like that. And his big thing, or the big key to his success, or the reason everyone wants to talk to him is he goes live on TikTok a lot, and he converts really well on TikTok lives. And converting on lives can be difficult. You know what I mean? Because people are. It's not like a webinar where you have a captive audience for 90 minutes or whatever. People are coming in, they're coming out, and stuff like that. And obviously the goal is to keep them. But what he said basically is he would just tell his story, share his experience. And then at the end, he would just be like, this is what it worked for me. If you think it might work for you, and that might not be his exact words, but here's how you go check it out. And it's like you're putting the decision on them. And it reminded me of a video that I saw from early Tony Robbins. I mean, he might have been in his 20s at this point, where he's talking about external and internal motivation, right? Like, if you're a marketer and you're talking about, you're hyping something up, it's working for this person, it's working for this person, it's great because holy shit, look at this, it's amazing, it's the best thing since sliced bread, right? That's a lot of external influence, right? And that works for some people. Some people are, they get into the hype, they feel the buzz, and they get FOMO, and it's just like that external influence really gets them to buy. But I think there's a larger portion, or at least an equal portion, that only focus on, the internal when it comes to decision making. And it's basically they have to reason it for themselves against their past experiences, right? And so what can happen is, if someone has failed with the side hustle in the past, whether it be drop shipping for you or, a lot of things for me, then we can get into a situation where that's our frame of reference. And it's like, puts us in a situation where it's like, well, this is just another online side hustle. Hasn't worked in the past. It's not going to work again. And that's our internal. It doesn't matter how much external hype comes at us. We're just going to default back to that internal decision-making process. So what we have to do as marketers is actually give them the things, the information, the overcome the objections, the opportunities, the reasons, sometimes with logic, sometimes with emotion, and then say, hey, listen, you know what you need to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. it's on you. You know, if you're willing to do this or not. It's going to take work.
Yeah.
And then when you switch that, it like forces or puts the pressure on the other half of the people in your list who need that internal reasoning. And a lot of times that's what gets them to take action. It doesn't matter how much hype you give them. So yeah, Phil's was a good one that sticks with me. You got to have more though, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, something that Phil said was hard work works. You get me? That's something that he said, and now he's 100% right. If you work hard for something, it actually works. I mean, right now, I know in the previous episodes I talked about that I needed to read more. You get me? So right now I'm reading a book, which is, I'm pretty sure you read it, the Grow Rich, Think Rich. Wait, Think and Grow Rich. Is that what it is? Is that the name of it? Yeah. Yep. So I'm reading it right now. And it's just to have a better mentality, I guess you can say. I'm barely done with the first chapter, but I love how he shared 3 stories, about just random people, and then one person was basically about like 3 feet away from the gold. You get me? Somebody was just digging and digging and working hard in one area. So working hard. But then at the moment that they got the first step of failure, then they completely stopped working, And then what happened? There was another person waiting for him for that spot to be available. And then when that person left because he couldn't find the gold, the other person that was waiting went to the same spot and started digging on the same spot. And then 3 feet later, he found the gold and he became a multi-millionaire. You get me? So it's just those things of opportunity. Like, it works. Hard work works. You get me? Like, maybe sometimes you're at the right place at the right time and you might get lucky like that. But then he also gave that example of Henry Ford, where he wanted a V8 engine for his company. And then the engineers kept saying, no, it's impossible. It's impossible. They're not going to be able to make it. They're not going to be able to do it. And Henry Ford was like, yeah, you can. Try again every day. Yeah, go ahead. And then they kept saying, no, it's impossible. And he kept saying, yeah, no, keep going. You get me? And then what happened eventually? He got his what is it called? AV
V8 8-cylinder
engine,
V8,
yeah, your 8-cylinder engine, and he became super rich because of that. But that's the thing about it, he kept working hard for it. Nothing is impossible out there, and that's just it's helping my mentality so much just by reading the book. And I only been through the first chapter, and it's already like changing my mindset just by reading it. And I read it yesterday. You get me? So it's only been a day, but it's impacting me in a way where I'm trying to read at least 1 chapter every single day, and we'll see if I keep it going. But I think I am. It's gonna be a great thing for my development.
Yeah, for the evolution of your entire life, really. I mean,
Exactly.
It'll help your business, it'll help your life. And that's the thing. Like, it's so cliche. Like, the gift of entrepreneurship isn't the money you make; it's the person you become. But that's it. Like, all the patterns and principles that apply to making money online, they apply to your life as well, with your relationships and your habits and the way you take care of yourself and stuff like that. So it really is a gift to go out there and have to succeed. It's so much more of a gift than someone just telling you what to do every day and then you get your paycheck at the end of the week. When you really think about it, when you put it into terms like that, a job is really a miserable existence. You know what I mean? Even if you have a good one, it's still, I got to do this. And now granted, there's some jobs that are very fulfilling, like I would imagine if you're a surgeon, that's pretty fulfilling when you save someone's life. And, I'm sure it's great to be a, Major League Baseball player, but for the most part, like most jobs are pretty miserable life when you really break it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, it is a gift. And, like that mentality stuff, it's, I think about me, like it almost happens every single time where we go on vacation. And we take quite a few vacations every year, and they're generally about a week or so. And so what I'll do is before I go on vacation with my family, I'll set up all automations for the week. That way I'll still be sending emails and don't really have to worry about anything. And I tell you what, man, 9 times out of 10, I make the most money while I'm on vacation. And as crazy as it sounds, I think it's because when we go on vacation, we do it up. And so it's like, what is my mentality when I'm on vacation? We're going out to expensive restaurants. My kids have eaten at restaurants that, I mean, I'm not going to say they're spoiled because they're not spoiled, but like, my kids have been to Nobu and, just all those expensive restaurants and but what is the mentality when I'm on vacation? It's like, we got this, like money doesn't matter. I'm going to make more. I'll probably make enough to cover this vacation while I'm on vacation. And that's not me being cocky. It's just like, that's my mentality on vacation. My wife wants to get a new purse. Yeah, let's go get it. I mean, I'm not worried about it. We'll make more, you know what I mean? And that's not my mentality in a daily life because I'm a dad, a father, and a sole income provider. So, I got to be somewhat responsible. But on vacation, it's just like, yeah, of course, I make plenty of money. And guess what happens? Yeah. I make plenty of money. Well, especially while I'm on vacation. It just blows my mind every single time. And I think there's something to that. Like, you just have to just put yourself in that position. Like, yeah, I'm a successful marketer. Maybe I haven't made money yet, but I'm going to figure this out. Yeah. I'm going to be successful. I mean, I've seen people dumber than me make this work, right? I'm going to outwork them. Yeah. So it's going to work. And it gets hard at times too. And that reminds me of another little golden nugget that came from one of our guests, and it was Tyler Wise. And towards the end of his interview, I think we asked him, what's the one piece of advice you would give to beginners or people who are in this game? And he said, remember what you've done. And that always sticks with me because, I have, by this point, after 11 years, I've done some pretty cool stuff, grown big YouTube channels, built big lists, had amazing launches, been on stages, spoke at events, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that there aren't days where I'm just like, am I even good at this? You know what I mean? I have those days where it's like, maybe it's comparisonitis or whatever it is, where I'm looking at these people who've been doing this for 7 months and are making $300,000 a year. And I'm like, well, am I even good at this? I don't know. But then, it's like I sit back and remember what I've done and focus on the people who've reached out and asked for help and said, man, thank you. I've been following you for a year. And when you remember what you've done, even if that's as simple as 3 weeks ago, you didn't know what a funnel was. Now you have a funnel live on the internet, right? Even if it's simple as that, just remember what you've done. And that's really boosts your mentality. And it not only gives you the energy to move forward, but it gives you the confidence that's going to come through in your content. That's going to be magnetic. That's going to attract more people. So remember what you've done was a big one that I think about a lot. So I thank Tyler for that.
Yeah, no, Tyler is such a great marketer. The way he does his content is so unique, and I love his content. I still talk to him nowadays. But going back to like the money, money comes and money goes, right? Like at least now when we get to like the first of the month, I have 2 mortgages that I have to pay. I have to pay my affiliates too. You get me? And there is money, and the money is gone. Like the money is always gone. You get me? Whatever's on that business account is gone because I have to pay so many people. But then, there's times where my wife gets a little, like, oh, there's not enough, or like, where did the money go? And I always tell her, don't worry, it's gonna come. There's money coming already. Like it's just that when it hits the first, that's when there's a lot of payments that have to go through. But then a week from there, I get weekly payments. You get me? So a week from now, everything is back in the account. So it's just that mindset shift about money. Just how you say, you go on vacation, not thinking about spending money or not thinking about how much money you're gonna make that week, but you are basically making more or the same amount of what you're spending on the vacation. So that's the thing. When you start thinking about the money in a different way, in a way where you're not trading it for time, I think is when you start realizing it that, okay, this is something that is sustainable, like, cause I'm not stressed about money anymore. There's months where the money is low, but I'm not stressed about it, because I already know what I have done, just how Tyler says it. And when you combine that advice, when you combine it, remember what you've done with remember why you started. When you combine those two, I think it's super powerful.
Yeah, I'll give you a little.
Go to the next topic. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, well, you're absolutely right about money. I'll give you a little piece of advice I heard long. Well, no, I was still doing affiliate marketing, but I was in the restaurant industry still. So this is not a past guest, but it was a bartender at the restaurant I was working at. His name was Tristan Peck, I believe was his last name. And we were just bullshitting one night or whatever as we were closing down, and we were talking about money. And he said, money's a tool. You know what I mean? He says, money's a brick. You know what I mean? You can, and what you do with it is your choice. You can throw it through a window, or you can build a church with it. You know what I mean? And that's it. It's just a tool. It's just a thing. And
Yeah.
don't, it sucks when you don't have any, but don't get emotionally attached to it, because businesses are dynamic. I mean, every time I make a big investment in my business, it always makes me a little nervous. And guess what? I start making more money. It's weird. It's like back to the Think and Grow Rich. It's just weird. It's like businesses are so dynamic. If you don't feed them with money, whether that's your education or your tools or advertising or whatever, then they die. But if you do feed them with money, it might be a little scary up front, but guess what? It's going to produce returns.
Yeah, 100%. Now speaking to about different guests, that have really made an impact, into our marketing, I guess you can say. One person that comes to mind is Alex Ford. I'm actually gonna be on his podcast tomorrow. And we're gonna, he's a cool guy to talk to, so I'm excited for that interview. But something that he said when we were interviewing him was, frustration means that you just have to learn more, and when he said that, like, it hit me, because everybody has gotten frustrated at some point. When I was making my funnel and it wasn't working, I was so frustrated. But he's right though. I needed to learn more, and what I did was I went online and I started researching, what other ways to do it. So that quote, frustration just means that there's more to learn. It makes a lot of sense, and it works for everything. It works for everything, and that's just something that he said that really made an impact on me, because I have done it before. It's funny because you don't think about some stuff that happens in your life, but when you start thinking about, or somebody makes you realize or think about your past, you start realizing that, okay, well, yeah, you're right, I have done that before. Like that whole Think and Grow Rich, I was doing it when I was working at the restaurant. I was doing that when I was learning affiliate marketing. I was doing that when I was working at the restaurant, plus learning affiliate marketing, plus raising my daughter, plus being a husband. I was doing all of that. I was thinking to grow rich, and it happened. You get me? In my own personal way, it happened, right? Because I'm not rich financially. I'm not gonna say I'm rich, but I'm rich in life now. I'm reaching other areas that I never had in my past. So that's something that it's amazing.
Yeah, that was really cool about what you said about Alex Ford, because that's true. Like, you feel this frustration, and you just like, oh, how do I get out of this? What do I do? And you're right. It's just, you got to learn more. If your content's not performing well, you just got to learn how to create better content. And part of that might be something that we heard from another guest, Jeff Bannock, also known as the Funnel Doc. He was early on he might be episode 3 or 4 or something like that. But we were talking about giving value. And the way he kind of burst onto the scene is when ClickFunnels was a much smaller company, he just jumped into the ClickFunnels group and just started helping people, giving information. And then what came as a result of that, he wasn't selling anything, but one of the biggest marketers at the time, Kevin David, before he blew up, he was looking for someone to build his funnels for him. And because Jeff Bannock was the guy in the ClickFunnels group who everyone was seeking out for information because he was giving it freely, they formed a partnership, and I think they sold $44 million together, right? I think they did very well selling info products with the funnels that Jeff built. And he talked a lot about just giving the value, and this is a big topic now because recently Hormozi did his book launch, and he talked about giving away the farm and stuff like that. But what Jeff said is if you're worried about giving value or too much value because you're afraid no one's going to buy your stuff, then I think he said, you need to go learn more, bro. I think were his exact words. And that's it. Like, if you don't have enough value in your arsenal to give and then still have some to sell, then you need to learn more. Right. And that's what makes my job easy now, is I've been doing this for so long. Like, I can give all the value in the world and people still want to join my program because I can just be talking to them in my group coaching. And it's just like, oh yeah. And it reminds me of something that I thought about. And there's like, people get their eyeballs wide. Like, that's amazing. I go, Oh yeah, I guess that, that is pretty good information. You know what I mean? And it's just because I've spent so much time learning, and I continue to learn. I'm always testing. I'm always learning. So that was a pretty good tip from Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we started this, like just a learning mentality, there's so much that we can still learn, even though we are experts in the field, there's still more that you can learn, especially when I was working at the restaurant too. I was hiring people, I was firing people, I was doing a lot of those stuff. And the way it worked was it was a level ranked, right? You start as a level 1 and then you move all the way up to level 7. And then from there you become a manager. Well, me as a manager, I was learning from a level 1. You get me? Even though I was basically teaching them everything about the business, I was still learning from their experiences, because I will have a conversation with every single person. It was so easy for me to connect with people because I'm very, very relatable, or I can relate a lot of things in the past with whoever I'm talking to, or share my experiences in the same topics that we might be talking about. So I was always able to learn a little bit of out of everybody. It doesn't matter what level you are. I'm sure my divisional manager learned from me, even though I was a level under him. You get me? So it's just like there's always information that you can learn from everybody. It doesn't matter if they're experts on the field. It doesn't matter if they're beginners on the field. You get me? They might be doing something new that nobody else is doing. And then just because they're a beginner doesn't mean, oh, I'm not gonna listen to that person. I
Right.
could take a little bit of that person and then use it on my own and maybe even duplicate those results. So it's cool to always have that learning mentality. And I think everybody should have a learning mentality always, always.
And I think it's important to remember that you can learn stuff from a lot of people, because I think what folks tend to get in the habit of is say, okay, and this is a little bit contradictory to some information I've given in the past with my experience. And so my experience was like, all right, let's find the guy who's the best and let's model his success, right? And focus on what he's doing and not get shiny object syndrome. And that's what I did with Alex Becker. I happened to wait on him when I was still in the restaurant industry, and I was like, this guy is a genius. So I like basically watched all his content and figured out what he was doing, and that's what worked for me. But the flip side of that is I think we can tend to focus on one person too much. And there have been people in the past, and just because he came up earlier, Kevin David was the one that I think about when I think about this type. So he blew up. I mean, he was running ads, he was creating content daily, he grew his YouTube channel to over 1 million subscribers and stuff like that. And he was making millions and millions of dollars. So it was like, this guy's the genius. Let's focus on everything he has to say. Well, what is he doing though? He's creating a bunch of different content to get views. And so one day he's talking about Amazon FBA, the next day he's talking about affiliate marketing, the next day he's talking about selling digital courses or whatever. I'm just kind of giving general examples here. And then so people kind of automatically get that shiny object syndrome, like, this is my guy, and they kind of follow him, bounce around with him. Whereas alternatively, a way to go might be this, is to find the one or two golden nuggets or the big things from each marketer that you can relate with. For example, Alex Hormozi, he's huge right now. I don't consume Alex Hormozi content all day long, but I can tell you the one thing that has stuck out with me, and that's from his first book. It's The Value Equation. When he broke that down, that was the gold nugget that I got from him that explains like how to create an offer and how to market your offer with the right triggers and stuff like that. And it's like, that was like, not that it was any new information, but the way he explained it just resonated with me and it added so much value to my business. So that's what I got from him. But I'm also going to get something from you. I'm also going to get something from Dave Sharp, who was a previous guest on the podcast. I'm also going to get something from Doug Boughton, who was a previous guest on the podcast. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to get everything from them, but I'm going to get that one gold nugget from them. And then that builds my toolbox. And then I have a pretty big set of gold nuggets that I can lean on. So that's like you said, you can learn something from pretty much anybody, really.
Yeah, anybody. It doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter if they're beginners or experts. So now that we're getting almost to the end of the episode, like what are things that I don't know you're looking forward with this podcast after Funnel Hacking Life? What are some of the things that I know we talked a little bit about, like our plan when we go there, and what we were trying to accomplish. But what do you think, is going to happen, with this podcast? Now we're reaching almost a year since we started launching, Are we going to have sponsors? Are we going to monetize in some way, Like what are you thinking, Brian?
I don't know. I'm just kind of waiting to see, where it goes, because it's been interesting. It 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 certainly isn't by any stretch of the imagination blowing up, right? Like, we have to be very honest about that. But what surprises me is we have a lot of loyal listeners, and they don't reach out every single day, but I'll see comments on YouTube, or I'll see emails come through, and it's just like, man, love the podcast. For example, when we had Adrian Brambila on last episode, I think he was episode 46.
46, yeah.
Yeah. And we were talking to him. He's like, yeah, I watched some of your podcast episodes. And he's like, what I really liked about it, or what I noticed, is you're very tactical. And most people, most podcasts are very inspirational. And he's like, I get pumped up from a lot of podcasts that I listen to, but it's very rare that I can listen to a podcast where I can come away with actionable strategies. So I was like, oh, right. Wow. So it's resonating with people, and people are enjoying it. So, from my perspective going forward, I think we're doing something. I think we're filling a gap. I think we're doing something that is worthy. So yeah, luckily, we're in a position where we can kind of, wait it out. And, we're definitely in the negative on this podcast as far as actual dollars spent versus dollars taken in, because we're at, whatever we are to zero. But that being said, I can tell you with 100% certainty that this podcast has made me money simply by sending it to my audience, and which helps strengthen that relationship, which gives them the confidence to buy. Even though I don't say, hey, go listen to this episode, then go buy this thing. It's like, hey, go to listen to this episode. It's really interesting. Skip to 20 minutes because this is a really good lesson, maybe. And then they're like, wow, that was amazing. Now they're more connected to me. Now I've built more trust. Now the next time I email them and say, hey, you want to join my premium program, Coaching's Tomorrow? They're like, yeah. So it's kind of a weird thing where it's like, it's kind of becoming its own thing. And yeah, the benefits or the beauty of it is just happening really organically, I think.
Well, that's the thing. That's the key point, organically. Because we're not over there looking for sponsors, I mean, people don't know this, but we have gotten a sponsorship deal once, you get me? But we were just not ready for it. Some guy started his own podcast, and he wanted to talk about AI marketing, and it would have been a cool option, but we just didn't know much information about that person, you get me? So it was just like, I went to check his LinkedIn, and it looks like he's run successful businesses, but I guess we weren't ready for that yet, right? Like, I don't know. I don't want to lose what we have. You get me? I don't want it to be about the sponsors. You get me? Like, yeah, of course, I want to have sponsors. I want to promote other things, other companies for a buck. You get me? Of course, that's important. But I don't want to lose what we have. I don't want to make it all about them and not about, what we have created about the listeners. So that's where it's kind of like, well, which direction should we go? Like, I have no idea. Like, this is new for me,
Yeah, well, luckily we have some good guests coming up. The episode for next week, I'm really excited about. I'm not gonna give away any information, but next week's guests, hopefully, they're so super busy right now that hopefully they can make it. So I don't want to promise it in case something happens, but I mean, there's some of the hottest marketers on the internet right now, and certainly the hottest marketers on TikTok right now. So I'm excited for that. And that's what's really cool. Like, we were lucky enough to leverage our connections to get started and bring on amazing guests, which is really hard to do for a lot of people, I'm sure. Yeah. But now, and this was the advice that another guest gave us, Lauren Tickner, who was a past guest. We were talking about getting, interviews, because she's interviewed people like Grant Cardone and stuff like that. We're like, how do you get to those people? And she's like, well, just leverage the guests that you've had. Well, I had so-and-so on. So, that's kind of is the social proof or the authority that we build. So as we get more and more names on here, that just gives us an opportunity to say, hey, we've had this, and this person on. We think you'd be a great fit, and they're going to be more likely to say yes if this podcast has had guests that they know, respect, and see as peers. So yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe by this time next year, or after Funnel Hacking Live, we'll be interviewing the likes of like Russell Brunson, or maybe we'll get Ed Milet on, or who knows? We never know what's going to happen. Love to have Perry Belcher, or Frank Kern would be my dream interview, but that's that's a big one. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Hey, and it is gonna happen. I mean, our just how you say, we had a head start, I guess you can say, because many podcasts that get started, they give up maybe 5 episodes in, 10 episodes in. We're looking at YouTube. Remember, we're looking at analytics on YouTube when we first started, and we were like, yeah, this is about the point where people give up.
Yeah.
And it was just us having a conversation, because we saw the views going up, and then bloop,
Yeah.
and then it went up again, and we're like, yeah, this is exactly where people give up.
Yeah.
We're not those type of people,
Yeah, that was funny because we saw it, we knew it. Yep, this is it, and it's probably around episode 9 or 10 or something like that. But yep, the analytics shoot up in the beginning because you're excited, and whatever audience you have is excited, and it's new, and then views go down or listens go down, and it's like that's the point where it's like, well, this isn't going to work. But now that now they're slowly going up. You know what I mean? And you just got to keep going. So yeah, I mean, I think we're taking a good approach to it. I think we're enjoying it. I know I am. The connections, the knowledge, it makes it worth it to me. So good stuff.
Yeah, 100%. All right, brother. Today was a great episode. If you guys are listening, make sure you guys leave a review, please. It's important. It will help us out. And yeah, I think that's how it is, right? More reviews, more 5 stars. It gets pumped up on the podcast platforms. See, like we don't even know how it works, honestly. But we're here giving you guys value, giving you guys feedback, strategy, whatever you guys need. But yeah, Brian, it's always nice to talk to you, man, every week.
Yeah, absolutely. Always good to talk to you. Thanks, listener, for sticking with us here today. And we'll see you all on the next episode of the Evolved Marketing Podcast.
Bye, everybody.